I want to know from Cowboy fans, Giant fans, and even that team in Washington, how does it feel to be conquered in the East? Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and happy Victory Monday to all you Dingbats out there. I know you're enjoying it. I know you're loving it. The Eagles are NFC East champions. The Eagles are the #1 seed in the NFC conference. It don't get better than that. Well, it does when you win the whole thing. But step one in our journey is complete. Win the division. And the conference. More importantly, the conference. The #1 seed in the conference is huge because of that bye week and only having to win 2 home playoff games. Now, we got a lot to talk about today, okay? So I'm just going to jump right into it. But before I do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet, and I pause at the throttled. Make sure you subscribe, especially right now because we are going playoff mode. It's going to be nuts. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate all your support, and I'm humbled by it. You know what to do, okay? I'm going to jump right into this because there's a lot of different things I want to talk about. What the hell is that noise out there? Anyways, first thing. The schedule for the playoff games this week. Of course, the Eagles are on a bye week, and they need to rest. We need to get healthy. It is clear Jalen Hurts was playing through pain, and he was not 100%. Hopefully, he'll get there or really close by the time we play in round 2. But here's the schedule that we have for this weekend, okay? I am going to be streaming most likely every one of these games. The only game that I can't fully commit to at this point is the Ravens-Bengals game, just because I've got some things I got to take care of, and we'll just see how it falls out. But I hope to be able to. All right. So we start Saturday. You have the 49ers and the Seahawks. Now I will be doing a preview prediction for all these games coming up on Friday. That most likely will be out then. And here are my thoughts right now though on these games. 49ers Seahawks. I don't expect the Seahawks to be able to win this game. Although, the one thing about this game that can make it interesting is sometimes division games in the playoffs tend to be a lot closer than people think. So this could be an interesting game because of that dynamic. That's a 4:30 on Saturday game. The 8:15 Saturday night game is really interesting. The Chargers and the Jaguars. Now, I like both these teams. Okay, I like both of them, but I got to pull for Doug Peterson here. I have to go for Doug. I would love to see Doug get out of the first round of playoffs. He's done a hell of a job in Jacksonville, and I'm proud for him, man. I'm proud of him. On Sunday, you have a 1 o'clock game, Dolphins-Bills. Now, I expect the Bills to win this game too, but this is an interesting game. You have a division opponent once again, and the Dolphins can put points on. And if they can start out hot and get some points on there, could make this interesting. I have a feeling this Dolphin-Bills game, depending upon what the weather is, how cold it is, and all that, I have a feeling this could be a pretty entertaining game nonetheless. But I expect the Bills to win. Then you have Giants and the Vikings. That's a 4:30 game on Sunday. This is really my first upset of the week. I think the Giants are going to beat the Vikings. Nah, I'm not saying I want them to, but I think they're going to. I think Kirk Cousins does not ever come up big in playoff games or in big moments. I got a feeling the Giants win that game. And we know the Giants are well rested, And then you have the Ravens-Bengals game. This is the game that I'm not sure about, but in terms of me streaming. However, I like the Bengals to win that game. And then that Cowboys-Buccaneers game, Monday Night Football. I am not a fan of Monday night playoff games. I don't, because I don't think it's fair for that team to lose an extra day in order, to prepare for the following game. So whoever wins really gets like possibly one less day to prepare for their next game. I don't like that. But this is a game where A couple weeks ago, I would have told you Cowboys are going to take care of the Bucs. The Bucs stink. They got nothing. However, Tom Brady, I think, is starting to play a little bit better. And Tom Brady playoff mode may be a completely different thing. And then you look at the choke job that the Dallas Cowboys did yesterday with Washington. Are they going to be motivated? Are they going to be down? Was that the beginning of the end? You just don't know. I think this game is a real toss-up. I'll figure out who I'm going to take later on in the week. But the Cowboys have never, ever, ever beaten Tom Brady. And will it start now? That's the question, okay? It's going to be interesting. We as Eagle fans, we get to sit back, relax, and watch it. Now, not talking about the playoffs for just a second. We got to talk about the Eagles and their draft situation because, as you know, we have 2 first-round picks. And yesterday, the New Orleans Vikings, they look like the Vikings. The New Orleans Saints lost. The Saints lost to the Carolina Panthers yesterday, and it pretty much locked in the Eagles a top 10 pick. Where exactly are the Eagles picking? Number 10. The Eagles have the 10th overall pick in the NFL draft via the New Orleans Saints. My thoughts are this. First of all, it sucks that they're number 10 because I think Carolina beat them twice. But yet Carolina is ahead of them in the draft. And I think that's because there's a 3-way tie between them, the Falcons, and the Panthers. And you don't do head-to-head in 3-way ties. I think that's why they're number 10. However, I will take a top 10 pick. That was my main goal I wanted coming out of that pick, going into the season. A top 10 pick. We're at 10, and I think that to have a position where you could possibly win a Super Bowl and then have a top 10 pick, I think it's beautiful. I think the Eagles should probably stay there or make that pick. We'll talk about all that later, but the Eagles will be picking in the top 10. Also, we got to talk about the coordinator situation right now because there are 2 spots that have just opened up in the NFL that I think are going to end up being the coordinator jobs from the Eagles, okay? Now, the Texans, they are looking for a coach. They have just requested they just requested interview with Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. So they're requesting to interview both coordinators for the Eagles. So Houston's going to look at both those guys. My prediction is this. I think Jonathan Gannon ends up in Houston. I have a feeling Steichen is going to end up in Arizona. Arizona just fired their coach. They need to bring in a coach, somebody that could help to develop Murray. They're going to look at what was done with Jalen Hurts, and I think that they're going to hire Steichen. So my prediction right off the bat is that Gannon ends up in in Houston, and then Steichen ends up in Arizona. That's what I think is kind of going to happen. So we will see. It should be interesting. But those guys, they got to focus on the playoffs. And maybe with the bye week, this is the week that both of them do some interviews. So we'll see. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Gannon going somewhere else. I think he's a good coach. I'm not a big fan of his scheme. Maybe we get Vic Fangio and we can make him our defensive coordinator. I really, really like that idea. But I think this Eagles defense has a ton of talent on it. And it will remain to have a ton of talent on it going into the seasons to come. I would like to see an aggressive defensive coordinator. We will deal with all that later, though. But a lot going on with the Eagles. And, as far as yesterday's game goes, listen, the Eagles didn't play their best game. They definitely didn't. And I know there's a lot of people who are kind of panicking and sounding the alarm and saying, I saw a couple comments, what are you smoking a cigar for? And I didn't get a chance to answer these comments yet. But why are you smoking a cigar? What are you happy for? I'm like, we just won the division. We just got the number 1 seed in the conference. What do you mean, what am I not going to be happy? I'm happy. I'm smoking a cigar when we beat the Houston Texans this year. A victory cigar video is a victory, a win. We win, we smoke. Dallas loses this week, we smoke. You know what I'm saying? We may be smoking cigars during these games this week. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there's a lot of people who saw yesterday's performance, and rightfully so, didn't like some things. And I'm not even going to say they don't have fair concerns. They do. There are some concerns they legitimately have. My gut feeling about where the Eagles are, especially from an offensive standpoint, I really think, if you look at that game, I really think they were basically putting Hurts in a box and making sure he didn't do certain things that he normally would do. Okay, and if you take that, like there are certain times where they're blitzing, he could have ran, and he didn't. There are things that he normally would do that he didn't. When you take that, right, the fact that he's kind of handcuffing himself in order to protect him, it's to protect him because he's still sore. He even said he's still in pain. He is. So they're trying to protect him, make sure he didn't re-injure. But because they couldn't count on Minshew, they had to play Hurts, who wasn't 100%. So you take that, and then you take the rustiness, because there are some passes he misses, and you're going to have an offense that struggles a little bit. Also, not to mention, they obviously didn't want to use Miles Sanders a lot either. They're saving him too. So I'm not worried about it from an offensive standpoint. I think whoever they play, first game, I think they're going to come out on fire offensively. I think you're going to see peak Eagles offense in the playoffs. So I feel okay about it because I really believe that they were trying to protect Jalen Hurts. They were limited certain things that he normally would do that he couldn't. And when you take those things away from him, it really affects the offense. And then there's some rustiness on top of that, My concerns are going to be more defensive oriented, to be honest with you. Is Darius Slay going to play at a higher level? Are they going to stay aggressive? Or are they going to allow quarterbacks to come out and be 17 to 18, going down drives, eating up clock? Or are we going to come out and play aggressive football? That's what I want to see from the defensive standpoint. When it's all said and done, I think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I said it. I think they're going to be going to the Super Bowl, and this will all be in my preview prediction video that will be out later in the week. But today is a day to celebrate winning the division, getting #1 seed in the conference. We got a lot to talk about. I still want to talk about A.J.Brown, Devontae Smith. That's a whole nother video because these guys, in my opinion, are the best wide receiver combo in franchise history already. Okay, but today we have a lot to celebrate, a lot going on, and we will see how it all ends up this week when the Cowboys play the Bucs, the Giants play the Vikings, the 49ers play Seattle. It's going to be interesting. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. It is going to be very interesting if both these coordinators end up being head coaches somewhere else, which I think is going to happen. To me, I think there's a really good chance Vic Fangio slides down from consultant to defensive coordinator, and he's there. Then the other one is going to be, who's your offensive coordinator? Could the Eagles bring back Frank Reich? Would they do it? Would they bring him back? Because I think that would be a very interesting name. Would he be willing to go from head coach back to offensive coordinator? I don't know. But I know Nick Sirianni would absolutely love to have him. I know Jeffrey Lurie absolutely loves him as well. Something to think about. Denzel Washington out.